We're here at the first ever American Royal Steak Competition. What we have behind us is the actual preparation of 31 separate steaks that have been submitted by farmers and ranchers from all across America. This beef was actually produced and raised on their own farms, some of it grass finished, some of it grain finished. And behind us you see the Kansas State University consumer preferences people who are preparing all the steaks to an identical temperature of approximately 150 to 155 degrees. And the steaks are all then sitting for about 4 to 5 minutes. Then we have a panel of judges, we have expert chefs, we have people from the cattle and food service industry that are randomly sampling these steaks. All are being blind judged, so no one knows whose steak it is or where it came from. And we've got an iPad system that we developed, so all of the tabulation of results is computerized, and the judges are inputting their results as they taste the steaks. Each judge is tasting a different steak, and they're not discussing what they're eating, and of course it wouldn't make any difference anyway because they're all eating a different steak. And those results will all be aggregated, and at the end of the competition we will select the best tasting steak of the American Royal Steak Competition for the first time.
We had two categories. There was grain-fed and there was grass-fed, and they were two separate categories. We weren't putting them head-to-head. The idea is that these are two different philosophies on how to raise beef, and the flavor profiles are very different. So we thought we'll keep them as two separate categories, as you would with different varieties of grape, for example. And I think if we want to eat good steak, and let's face it, steak lovers want to eat great steak all the time, we need to understand why it's good. So this competition is an effort. The American Royal was partly founded on improving cattle, and I think this is very much a legacy of that, is understanding what it is that makes beef good. And part of the way you do that is find the great steaks and say, how did you do this? What breed was it? What was it fed? How old is it when you slaughtered it?
Steak's second only to red wine in the number of flavor profiles that it has. There's a tremendous variability. People know that. There's good steakhouses and more economical steakhouses. And this is really it's the next logical progression. When you judge wine, you don't judge grapevines and grapes. You judge the finished product. And here, the American Royal has a rich tradition of judging cattle on the hoof. And that's important because cattle have to be functional. But we also need to take that to the next level, which we're doing here at the American Royal, and we're judging the finished product. The highest value product, I would say, in a beef animal or any animal really, is a good steak, and we're judging that.
But we believe this is truly the first steak tasting competition of its kind being held in the country, where you've actually got blind submissions of the samples, where you have professional judging panels, and we don't think there's really been anything like this done before, other than perhaps in a commercial setting where the beef and food companies have done consumer preference and taste testing. So it's a very unique event. We think it's the first of its kind, and we hope that this is the first year of many to come.